Della Hayden Raney's life story is more inspiration about giving your best. She had to fight to serve the country she loved. Della was born in 1912 in Suffolk, Virginia, and also spent early years in Detroit, Michigan. She was the fourth of 12 children born to George and Willie Raney. Not much else is reported about her childhood. What we do know is that Della Raney wanted a career in nursing. She found her way to Durham, North Carolina, where the seeds of economic and social prosperity was building the Black Wall Street of the South. She was accepted at Lincoln Hospital School of Nursing, credited as the first program for Negro nursing students in the United States. Raney graduated in 1937 and stayed on, hired as the operating room supervisor at Lincoln Hospital. She later worked at Community Hospital in Norfolk, Virginia, and the KV Reynolds Hospital in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. When the United States entered World War II, the military needed more medical staff, and Rainey was determined to serve her country. She had seen the call for nurses advertised on numerous posters. But there was a problem. When Rainey applied to join the Army Nurse Corps, her application was denied. Reason? Rainey was black, and the military was segregated. The Army claimed they had no rules for accepting black nurses. This excuse helped them avoid adding black women to their medical teams. That did not deter Rainey. The military used the Red Cross to vet potential nurses as a first step for entry. Getting into the Red Cross was also met with closed doors. So Rainey took the bold action of writing directly to Mary Beard, the American Red Cross nursing director. Her letter stressed her skills as a nurse and her strong desire to serve her country during wartime. Beard answered Rainey's letter by sending her Red Cross membership materials. This approval cleared the final hurdle to military service. In April 1941, Rainey became the first black nurse accepted into the Army Nurse Corps. The Army made her a second lieutenant, breaking an important racial barrier. Another but. The Army agreed to accept a small number of black nurses. They set a strict limit of only 56 positions, but Rainey was in. Her first assignment was at Fort Bragg, North Carolina in 1941. This large base trained thousands of soldiers headed overseas, and Rainey supervised 24 black nurses at the base. This formed the first group hired under the new quota system. The Army only allowed these nurses to care for black soldiers in segregated hospital facilities. After 6 months at Fort Bragg, Rainey took the chief nursing exam and passed with high marks, earning a promotion to first lieutenant. This higher rank gave her more authority and responsibility. She also achieved another first, the first black nurse to serve as chief nurse in Army history. Her success opened a path to other black nurses to move into leadership roles. In March 1942, the Army moved Rainey to Tuskegee Army Airfield in Alabama. This base trained the Tuskegee Airmen, America's first black military pilots. Military officials named her principal chief nurse. She took full control of nursing services at the base hospital, leading the first 5 black nurses assigned to Tuskegee. They cared for pilot trainees and other personnel while making military medicine history. At Tuskegee, nurses and patients called Raney Ma Raney. During her 3 years there, Raney supervised up to 20 nurses. In June 1944, Raney moved to Fort Huacucha, Arizona. This desert base housed thousands of black infantry soldiers training for combat. The Army named her chief nurse at the station hospital. She managed medical care for the all black 92nd and 93rd Infantry Divisions. In 1945, Rainey earned promotion to captain. She became the first black nurse in the Army Air Corps to reach this rank, further cementing her trailblazer status. The Army promoted Rainey to major in 1946 after the war ended. This feel great officer rank showed the military's recognition of her leadership skills. Her service then took her to Japan with occupation forces. When she returned to America, she became director of nursing at Camp Beale Hospital in California. The huge medical complex had 100 buildings and 1,000 beds. Rainey managed all nursing operations for this major treatment center. It's worth noting that by the end of the war, in September 1945, only 479 black nurses were serving in the Army Nurse Corps out of 50,000 nurses in service, precisely because of the rigid quota system imposed by segregation. Major Rainey retired from the Army in 1978. Before her death in 1987, she was honored with several military awards. The Army awarded her a Good Conduct Medal, World War II Victory Medal, Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal, American Campaign Medal, and Women's Army Corps Service Medal. These honors recognized her pioneering military career. In 1978, the Tuskegee Airmen honored her, quote, for her achievements that personified the Tuskegee spirit, end quote. I end with Major Rainey's words. When I entered nursing more than 40 years ago, it was serious business for me. It was a commitment to give my life for a cause, that of caring for those who were ill. It was the strong desire to elevate my profession that led me to volunteer for military service in 1940 with the United States Army Nurse Corps. Getting accepted by the Red Cross was difficult for graduates of black schools of nursing in the South. But I persisted in overcoming this barrier to the point of writing Miss Mary Beard, who at that time was director of nursing for the American Red Cross, telling her of my desire to serve my country and practice my profession. Miss Beard replied with a membership card, certificate, and pen. Major Rainey, service not taken for granted by grateful Americans.